A very good evening to all our viewers and welcome to a brand new edition of News First Weekend coming to you live from our Newsfirst studios in Colombo. I'm Arundhati Mudanayaka. Let's start off with a look at the stories making headlines this evening. Petroleum trade unions decide not to issue fuel to the CEB from midnight tonight. Proposed salary and allowance increments for public servants tomorrow. Accident in Thalava claims the lives of 3, including a pregnant lady. Preparations underway for a meeting between the President and the Prime Minister over the topic of capital punishment. Trump invites Kim to visit US after meeting in North Korean border. And now the stories in detail. Petroleum trade unions threaten to suspend the supply of fuel to the Ceylon Electricity Board from midnight tonight. Trade unions point out that they decided to launch the trade union action as Minister of Power and Energy Ravi Karunayaka is obstructing the process of renovating the supply line from the Colombo port to Kolonava.
The 5-kilometer-long supply pipe network, which carries fuel from tankers docked at the Colombo harbour to Kolonava, is more than 75 years old. Leaks were reported on this network on a number of occasions, and due to the decay, many pipes were abandoned completely, leaving only 2 pipes to be used. Due to its present condition, the supply process of 3 days now takes around 6 days for fuel to reach Kolonava from the port. This costs the state around $4 million a year as delay charges for tankers. Trade unions claim it is extremely important to repair these pipes.
Only another 140 meters needs to be added to the 5.5-kilometer pipeline. On the 25th of June, Minister Ravi Karunayaka came there suddenly. Mano Ganeshan also came there and interrupted us. Minister Ravi Karunayaka came here and said that people living on both sides must be compensated. When we started to lay these pipes, we paid a sum of 83 million rupees to 20 families here. The people living on the sides are all living in illegal constructions. But even for the people living illegally, Minister Kabir Hashim put in a cabinet paper and got approval for 1,700 million rupees to compensate them. There is a conflict of opinions between Ravi Karunayaka and the Finance Minister. They do not have confidence that the money allocated by the Finance Minister would be given to these people. We are not at fault for the quarrel between these two ministers. If this pipeline ruptures, the damage will be greater than the damage caused by the collapse of the Mithurumula garbage dump. The innocent people of Colombo North cannot be allowed to suffer for the 11 years of incompetence displayed by the Petroleum Corporation. We do not care if the unions object to this. What's left is to pay the money from the Petroleum Corporation. They have been struggling for about 15 months now. This is the incompetence of the Petroleum Corporation. We will completely stop providing petrol to the Electricity Board from midnight. The Electricity Board is in debt to us to the tune of 90 billion rupees. Listen to us or else we will halt the supply of petroleum to the entire country. You cannot play with us like you did the last time. We will take care of that. It is not a problem for us. Electricity is needed more than petrol. If the Finance Minister cannot give that money, there is no point in scolding another ministry. Ask them to sell the fuel at a lower price. They sell fuel worth 45 rupees at a price of 96 rupees. The electricity bill has increased because the petrol costs so much. There is a huge mafia going on here. We believe that the Prime Minister and Minister Ravi Karunayaka are behind this. After Kabir Hashim took oaths as a minister again before the President after he resigned, as far as we know, there is a rift between the Prime Minister and Kabir Hashim, as the Prime Minister was unaware of this at the time he was taking oaths before the President. Ravi Karunayaka is trying to withdraw a cabinet paper that was presented by the chairman of the UNP and approved by the cabinet. When Ravi Karunayaka came to answer for the bond scam, he said that he doesn't know and he cannot remember. Therefore, we have a suspicion that the Prime Minister is behind this as well. Can't the Prime Minister tell Ravi Karunayaka that this is a matter of national importance and it should be done? The Honourable Prime Minister has intervened. I believe that this issue will be resolved within about 2 days. I believe the supply of petroleum to the Electricity Board will not be affected because of this issue. We have a national duty to do these things with the Electricity Board.
The Ministry of Finance says the salary increments and other allowances for public servants proposed in the Budget 2019 will be in effect from the 1st of July.
Under the public servant salary increment, 1.1 million public servants are entitled to receive an interim allowance of 2,500 rupees. The Finance Ministry said public servants will receive an interim allowance of 2,500 rupees and the cost of living allowance of 7,800 rupees will continue as it is. In addition, from tomorrow there will be an increase in the payment of allowances for the Triforces. The pensioners' salary anomalies will be removed and the monthly allowance for the differently abled will be increased. The housing rent paid for Triforces members will be doubled with effect from tomorrow and commando allowance will be increased up to 5,000 rupees from 1,000 rupees. According to the budget proposals, the program to remove salary anomalies from pensioners will also be implemented from tomorrow. Accordingly, the pension of over 500,000 public servants who retired before the 31st of December 2015 will be increased by a minimum sum of 2,800 rupees and a maximum amount of 20,000 rupees. In addition, the proposal to increase the monthly allowance for the differently abled will be increased to 5,000 rupees from 3,000 rupees. The release adds that the government has already been paying a monthly allowance of 5,000 rupees each to 21,000 chronically ill kidney patients. Accordingly, the government will spend a total of 39,356 million rupees to pay all the salary anomalies and allowances.
A fire broke out at a storage facility containing matchboxes in Katukasata this afternoon.
Police said the fire erupted from a storage facility and it was badly damaged by the inferno. The Kandy Fire Brigade deployed 4 units to contain the fire and the cause for the blaze is yet to be ascertained. The Katukasata police are conducting investigations into the matter.
3 women, including a pregnant lady, have been killed in a motor accident that occurred early this morning in the Moragoda along the Anuradhapura-Kurunegala road. Saharin Nisha from Thalava, Alahaperumagama was preparing for her first childbirth with an abundance of expectations. But reckless driving shattered all hopes. She had to be rushed to the Anuradhapura Teaching Hospital last night with the help of several relatives. But they were only able to reach the Thalava area in Moragagoda as the van they were travelling in collided head-on with a lorry at around 3:50 a.m.
නිදාගෙන හිටියේ වාහන සද්ද දාංගල සද්දයක් ඇහුණා. ඇහෙනකොට දෙන්න දුවගෙන ආව බලන්න. පාරට ඇවිල්ලා බලලා සද්ද නැහැ. කෑ ගන්න සද්දෙට මෙතන දුවගෙන යනකොට මෙතන දෙන්නෙක් මෙතන වැටලා හිටියා. බබා හම්බෙන්නේ ඉඳලා කාරණා වැටලා හිටියා. කවුරුත් වාහන නතර කරේ නැහැ. කරේ නැහැ. මුරුගෙන දැක්ක සාය දුන්නේ නැහැ. කවුරුත් සාය දුන්නේ නැහැ.
Police said 2 women, including Nisha, were killed in the accident. 3 others who sustained serious injuries have been admitted to the Anuradhapura hospital. Our correspondent said that 3 persons who were travelling in the lorry were also injured. Relatives of Sahari Nisha, who hoped that she will return back with her newborn child, are now preparing the final journey.
මෙයා පළවෙනි බබා තමයි හම්බෙන්න හොස්පිටල් එකට එක්කාගෙන ගියා. මගේ අම්මයි, මල්ලිගේ නෝනායි, බබායි තා ලොකු අම්මගේ මේ පුතේයි, පුතාගේ නෝනායි නැතිවලා ඉන්නවා අපි 4 දෙනෙක්.
Not only her family but also the residents of the area are shocked by the incident. Further investigations are being conducted by the Anuradhapura police. Meanwhile, 7 persons were killed and 19 others were injured in accidents in the Thalava, Tissamaharama, Alawa, Jaffna and Milani areas during the past 24 hours. Time for a short commercial break. Stay with News First. We will be right back.
I am Parumi Vasanthi Maristella. I have a dream to bring glory to my motherland. I have a dream to gift her an Olympic medal. This is your chance to dream with me.
Welcome back. You're with News First. A woman who was being treated at a private hospital in Colombo after she was carried away by strong currents passed away last night. Her husband and 2 daughters died on the 22nd of June after they were swept away by strong currents in Kirinda.
The funerals of the husband and 2 girls were carried out on the 25th of June. The mother was rescued by a soldier who was stationed in the area and was first admitted to the Tissa Maharama Hospital and thereafter transferred to the Ampara-based hospital ICU. She was thereafter transferred to a private hospital in Colombo following the intervention of her relatives. Sadly, she passed away last night when the 7-day remembrance of her deceased husband and daughters was taking place at their residence in Hatton.
Deputy Chairman of the Narammala Pradesh Sabha Manjula Phogampala was remanded until the 3rd July for assaulting a police officer last night. The police officer was assaulted at around 10:45 last night. The Politico has visited the police station last night alleging the traffic police were not present to attend an accident which took place in Narammala. Yet thereafter assaulted the police constable on duty who is now receiving treatment at the Kuliapetiya hospital.
ඔව් 10:45 පමණ පොලිස් ස්ථානයට පැමිණ බයිසිකල ඉස්සරහා නවත්තා අඩෝ උඹද හිටියේ උඹද ෆෝන් එකෙන් කතා කරපු එකා කියලා මගේ යුනිෆෝම් එකෙන් අල්ලලා කාණ්ඩ පාරක් ගැව්වා ගහලා එයා අත් දෙකෙන්ම මාව ඇදලා ගන්න හදුවා එළියට පස්සේ එතන මිනිස්සු පැත්තකට වුණා පස්සේ මම ඔහුව මෙල්ල කරගෙන ස්ථානයේ තිරමැදියට යමු කළා පස්සේ මම සොක්සින් දාන්න මේ සම්බන්ධව දැනුණා එතන ඒ කියන මේ පුද්ගලයාට පහර දීමක් සිදු වෙනවද පොලිසිය පැත්තේ නෑ නෑ පහර දීමක් ඕක සිදු වුණේ නෑ මේ බලය පාවිච්චි
The Deputy Chairman of the Narammala Pradesh Sabha Manjula Phogampala was produced before the Kuliapetiya magistrate and he was remanded until the 3rd of next month. Meanwhile, another police officer has been hospitalized after being assaulted by the son of a Putlam district MP Shanta Sisirakumar Abisekara.
Police media spokesperson SP Ruwan Gunasekara said that a police constable attached to the Ministerial Security Division was injured in the attack. The assaulted police constable is currently receiving treatment at the Chilau Hospital. According to police, the officer was assaulted after an argument. MP Shanta Sisirakumar's son is yet to be arrested and the incident had taken place around 8:45 last night. Police spokesperson noted that investigations are currently underway.
Also in local news, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe attended a number of events in the Monaragala district today.
The Prime Minister declared open a 3-story building at the primary school in Oddegoda. The Prime Minister later inspected the renovation activities of the Koskas Arava Reservoir and also attended an event to distribute Samudra beneficiary schemes at the Mari Arava Weekly Fair.
The implementation of the death penalty has been proposed again. This is completely against the policies of our party. We spoke with the Tamil parties as well, and they too are against this. All 4 of the main groups in Parliament are against the implementation of the death penalty. In 2016, the government decided to vote in favour of the proposal not to implement the death penalty at the United Nations. We have voted in favour of the same thing in 2018 as well. When our country voted for this in 2018, I was not the Prime Minister. I was removed from power. However, that is not the problem. All of us were of one stance. I want to speak with my ministers and then discuss this matter with the President. We will discuss the matter within this weekend.
These were the views expressed by several politicians regarding the 19th Amendment to the Constitution.
We presented the 19th Amendment in Parliament, took the matter to the Supreme Court and obtained a 2/3 majority. We can see all the secretaries to the ministries, state employees, are executing their duties without any fear. Therefore, there was a huge change in terms of democracy within the country. Apart from carrying forward this change and further strengthening it, there is no need to step back. It is unfortunate that when this was presented in Parliament, members of our party too raised their hands in favour of it. Democracy was not established or further strengthened by this. In that sense, elections should have been held in due course. Provincial council elections have been postponed for years. The 19th Amendment to the Constitution was brought to establish commissions. However, this did not happen. Commissions have been established and the appointment of state employees is no longer limited to political patronage. Holding elections every year and wasting public funds have been stopped. Those who now criticize the 19th Amendment are the same people who once agreed and approved it. Anyone who dreams of amending the 19th Amendment during the present government's tenure cannot do so, as they require a two-thirds majority. I too voted in favor of the 19th Amendment to the Constitution. However, today I regret my decision. From what I remember, it was only Sarath Veerasekara who refrained from voting. The 19th Amendment must be amended during the tenure of our government. The President must have the powers to run a country. How can the country go forward when his powers are lightened or removed? At present, when the IGP is removed from his position, the matter is taken to courts. If the 19th Amendment aims to reduce the powers of the President, it should be abolished or further amended. We, together with the intellectuals of the country, pointed out the shortcomings and the irreconcilable flaws of the 19th Constitutional Amendment before it was passed in Parliament 4 years ago. But the politicians who represent us in Parliament clung on to their nadir politics at the time and were therefore blind to the eventual consequences the country will have to face as a result of the 19th Amendment. They voted in favor of the 19th Amendment then, and 4 years later now claim that they are regretting their decision. The country's progress was stalled for 4 years. Who will be held responsible for this? It is a parliament which houses 225 of such vacillating individuals that is attempting to sign an agreement with a foreign nation that will jeopardize the future of our motherland. The Sunday Times reported today that it had obtained a draft copy of the Status of Forces Agreement, or the SOFA, which is currently under negotiation between the United States of America and Sri Lanka. The newspaper says the SOFA draft reveals a number of Washington's demands that would impinge on Sri Lanka's sovereignty.
The Sunday Times political editor says that the US is seeking that aircraft and vessels of the US government to be free from boarding and inspection, and that the US wants exemption from license, customs duties, taxes and any other charges within Sri Lanka. The US is also seeking authorizations for its troops to wear uniforms whilst on duty in any part of Sri Lanka, carrying arms and radio communications equipment. The article further says that Washington wants US troops and contractors to be allowed to enter and leave Sri Lanka individually or collectively with the use of only their US identification. This will mean that they will carry no passports or visas.
It was reported that an advisor in Parliament is on the payroll of an American corporation. The opposition today alleged that such employees are present at a number of other institutions in the country as well.
A person who receives payment from the US has been recruited as advisor to Speaker Karu Jayasuriya in this independent institution, which is the Parliament. Sri Lankans who receive payment from the US have also been assigned to institutions like the police, the office of the IGP, the FCID, the judiciary and the central bank. This is wrong. While speaking of a sovereign state, we are bending to the needs of another country. We have a duty to remove this government from power for doing such things.
A newly refurbished road in the Hewahat electorate in Kandy was visited with the public yesterday.
The carpeted road from Galaha to Belluda along Udadeltota was declared open by Minister Lakshman Kiriyalla.
The Venerable Theros speak of the fact that our district has not had a state leader since D.B. Vijayatunga. I think that the time has come to create a state leader from Kandy. Because you are the person who is heading the development drive in the Kandy district, you will be able to do more if you ascend to the position of head of state. We will put forward a candidate who can win this election. Do not fear. We are not ready to hand over the government just like that. The Central Working Committee of the UNP will convene and we will discuss with the working committee and the parliamentary group and decide on the candidate. We will not present a common candidate this time. I would like to tell you that the candidate of the United National Party will be the common candidate.
The motion of no confidence against the government is scheduled to be taken up for debate on the 10th of next month. JVP Politburo member K.D. Lalkant expressed these views regarding the motion.
A no-confidence motion is coming up in Parliament. We're attempting to create a public opinion and make the members of Parliament raise their hands in favour of this motion. What will happen after this motion of no confidence is won in Parliament? The government is over. Then Parliament must elect a new government. Do you think that after losing a no-confidence motion, they will be able to form a new government in Parliament? There is no room for that. It is then that everyone will have to come into a consensus of dissolving Parliament with a two-thirds majority and going in for a general election. Some people could argue that this struggle will end with a general election being held before the presidential election. We want a general election before the presidential election. The first step in achieving this is winning the motion of no confidence. If this does not happen, then it is the presidential election that is coming up. We are ready for that as well. On the 14th of next month, we will present a new, broad national movement to the country. Through that national movement, we will put forward a candidate for the elections. Given the current situation in the country, we have no doubt that this candidate will win the hearts of the people over any other candidate presented by any other party. We propose that a member of our Politburo put forward. That is our proposal. If I am chosen, I will have to do it. If this movement chooses me, I will have to do it. I will definitely do it.
More news come your way on the other side of this short commercial break. Stay with News First.
I am Parame Vasanti Maristella. I have a dream to bring glory to my motherland. I have a dream to gift her an Olympic medal. This is your chance to dream with me.
Welcome back to the news. Former Auditor General Gamini Vijayasinghe attended an awareness program in the Polonnaruwa district. The theme of the program was "The Nation Can Be Developed."
At
a time when everything in the country is going downhill daily, although at times I should not speak, I express my views because I cannot stay silent. You would remember a statement that was made recently that King Dutugamunu should learn how to develop the country from the development drive underway today. As a person from Rajarata, I was deeply saddened by this because I wondered if they want King Dutugamunu to come out of his grave and learn how to take loans. I looked into where King Dutugamunu or King Parakramabahu took loans from, but those have not been written down anywhere. If you know anything of such, please let me know. We do not have to come to a point where we make shameful statements. It is not enough to just criticize the stupid statements made by empty men. The time has come to awaken the voice of the educated. The budget proposal prepared by the Ministry of Finance has become just a writing on a piece of paper.
The 210th village constructed under the Samata 7 Yali Pipidenu Udagamana project was vested with the public in Thalawa Moragoda area in the Anuradhapura district.
This village, named Varunagama, was declared open by Minister of Housing, Construction, Cultural Affairs and the Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Sajid Premadasa. 31.4 million rupees has been spent for the construction of this village, which consists of 24 houses, equipped with all infrastructure facilities. My father used an amazing method to solve people's problems. When he became president, he started the mobile service and became close with the common man. We need to create a development that is visible to the people, the hearts and minds of our people. All public representatives should implement Ranasinghe Premadasa's mobile service concept. That being said, Premadasa's son is ready for such a public service.
Ranasinghe Premadasage puta lasti kineka me avasthawe.
Deputy Registrar of the Askiri chapter, Venerable Dr. Naram Phanave Anandathera, convened a media briefing today.
We come to the understanding that certain individuals of NGOs are trying to defame the Mahanayaka Thera of the Askiri chapter by levelling false allegations against the Venerable Thera that he had insulted the Muslim community. We as the Askiri chapter vehemently condemn these insults on the Venerable Thera. The Askiri chapter is a headquarters that has worked cordially with the Muslim community throughout history. The Muslims have very well understood this. Therefore, they have not made any statement in this regard. They are aware that the Mahanayaka Thera did not make any statement to insult them on purpose.